Hello, everybody, and welcome to a quick bootleg episode of Trek Canon. So, today I wanted to talk about Season 2, Episode 8 of Star Trek Strange New Worlds Under the Cloak of War. There was a lot going on in this episode, and I really loved this episode. First, what really made me like this episode is it reminded me of the episode from, I think, Voyager, Nothing Human. All right, where now I know it's slightly different things going on, but I think his name was Masset. The doctor recreated the holographic version of this Cardassian doctor that did a lot of experiments on the Bajorans. But and they was kind of wondering if they should use the technology that he gleaned from those barbaric experiments to help a Cardassian ensign. Now the thing is that under the cloak of war, most people would understand it as under the cover of war or under the fog of war, most definitely. But they decided to use the cloak of war. And I can only think that they did that because the story dove into Klingons. So, what's going on in this episode? In this episode, we have an Klingon ambassador that I thought was pretty interesting during the time period, which I guess makes sense because there was a Klingon ambassador in the Search for Spock, something like that. And that was pretty much during the same time period of after the Klingon War with the Federation. So I guess it's not too much of a stretch to have a Klingon ambassador. But the thing is that this Klingon ambassador basically defected like that one Romulan general did in the Next Generation. He ends up defecting from Jagoon, where he was basically a type of Dukat type character. All right, for if you want to use that analogy, he was kind of like a Dukat type character. Now, the thing is that this episode focuses on a lot of the darker aspects of Dr. MBenga that we've been kind of getting glimpses of, with that whole little super soldier serum and all of this. And I don't think it's far-fetched for Starfleet or some type of or one of the Starfleet doctors to have made a super serum like that. Something temporary, something that would give you abilities and stuff like that when you out in situations. So I don't see that as being something far-fetched. Now, another one of the episodes that this episode reminded me of was Siege at AR-558 from Deep Space Nine. It's very rare that we get to see outside of Deep Space Nine the darker aspects of Star Trek, as far as the Federation and member worlds and, worlds that have nothing to do with the Federation. It's very rare that we get to see the the dystopian side of Star Trek, all right? So, what's going on with MBenga? And another thing, MBenga and Nurse Chapel. If you remember the episode, I think it was a mock time. No, it wasn't a mock time. It was an episode that they had MBenga in, where Spock was coming out of a coma, trying to heal himself out of a meditation, I should say. And Nurse Chapel and Dr. MBenga was basically, talking. And I never got the impression that she had that kind of relationship or any kind of relationship with Dr. MBenga as they're portraying in Strange New Worlds now. But anyway, this Klingon ambassador dude, man, he's basically came to prominence because of killing his generals who decided to basically commit genocide on Jagoon, all right? Which the Federation was basically holding, and Dr. MBenga and Nurse Chapel was basically the medics that were assigned here, seeing all this carnage that's going on. All right. Now, we come to find out in that episode that Dr. MBenga has some black ops ties. I got the impression that he was kind of like the preacher from what was that series from Firefly. I got the impression that he was kind of like that preacher from Firefly, like Dr. MBenga. Now he's trying to save lives and be for God and all this stuff. But before, he was something serious. He wasn't somebody to mess with. So That's the impression that I was getting from the episode. And basically, they had asked Dr. MBenga, hey, man, we need the Shadow to go out there and hook this dude up because we basically losing against the Cleons. And Bingo was like, I don't do that no more and everything. But he ends up meeting this lieutenant or ensign or something like that, and that he was healing. And this ensign goes out and ends up getting killed in this battle. It pisses off MBenga, man, and MBenga is like, yo, I'm finna go in here and basically tear all this down. Now, the thing is that this ambassador guy, right, he got his reputation, like I said, from killing off his generals. And Dr. MBenga and pretty much a lot of people on the ship was pretty much standoffish to this dude because they like, man, look, we know who you are. You're a war criminal, man. And just because you had a moment of clarity, that don't disassociate you from all of the terror and the killing and the bloodshed that happened under your watch. It's kind of like when Ducat was like, yeah, look, man, I'm nice now and run this Bajoran religion, and everybody was like, dude, come on, man, really, we ain't finna believe that. It had that kind of feel to it, and when I say remind me of Ducat, I'm not talking about as far as him being such a like Ducat was a three-dimensional character. Sometimes he's a bad guy, sometimes he's a good guy, sometimes you just don't even know. You know what I mean? So Ducat was multifaceted, but this ambassador dude, I'm pretty sure if we had got to know him a little bit longer, he probably would have been that. But by the end of the episode, it seemed to me that he was just a liar, an opportunist. You know what I mean? And that seemed like that was what pissed Dr. MBenga off the most. Not only are you lying about some stuff that you did and now you're getting clout, and trying to get positions in the Federation, it don't matter what your purpose is. You know what I'm saying? Because the foundation you built this whole lie on is something that I did. Hey, I came looking for you, man, and you was throwing your generals in a way, man, it basically is like, it's cotton fodder, to me, where I'm trying to get to you and you escape. You know what I mean? Like, and I got all of this, you would say, pain in me. All of this PTSD from what I had to do on this moon, man, trying to get to you because you been crazy and you got the nerve to come on the ship talking about some peace and can I join you and la 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 la. And it was smooth how Dr. MBenga was like, yo, who do you think was the best fighter or the last man or something like that, right? And when dude answered early, towards the middle of the episode, MBenga was like, but let me tell you something. What I did like that sparring match that MBenga and the ambassador had, because it shows that even though MBenga is a bad motherfucker hand to hand, Klingons are strong. They stronger than humans, man. Like even that old Klingon, you know what I mean? Like, you ain't finna just be hand to hand fighting a Klingon. You got to be skilled. You got to be like Kirk or something, man. You can't just be, I'm finna go fight a Klingon. No, man. You get one hit, but you dead. But anyway, I like that scene that they had between them as they were sparring. The way that they were not only sparring physically, but sparring verbally. With Dr. MBenga attacking and the ambassador defending and vice versa. You know what I mean? So I like the confrontation that the ambassador had with MBenga at the end, because MBenga was basically like, look, dude, I'm trying to control my temper. I'm trying real hard, man. I'm trying to stay away from you, but you keep coming in my face. I need you to get out of sickbay. I need you to go. And this dude is basically like, yo, man, we could make so much of a good team. We could do so much good with the Federation, but I didn't trust that dude, man. And I understand, but MBenga, spoilers, I should have said that a long time ago, but y'all know how I roll. But MBenga ends up killing the dude, you know what I mean? And there was really no repercussions about it. They didn't really flush out, MBenga it was kind of like, oh, okay, well, MBenga killed a fucking ambassador for the Federation, and we have no investigations, nothing, like, and not just any ambassador, a Klingon ambassador. You know what I mean? Like, there should be some repercussions to that. A lot. So the thing is that this episode, it was deep, it was dark, and I like the fact that we finally get a chance to go into that aspect, like I said, of Star Trek, because we know that they have those aspects in Star Trek. So what did you guys think of In the Cloak of War? Changing it from In the Fog of War to a more Klingon based thing. You know what I mean? What did you guys think of it? What do you guys think of how they portray MBenga? What did you guys think of the dynamic between the ambassador and the crew and MBenga? You know, did they rush? Do you guys feel like they rushed the conclusion or the the end of this episode too much? You know, it was another episode that for some reason this reminded me of, and it was the original series episode where Kirk thought that he had Kirk's homie thought that he had recognized the butcher of something, and but it was the theater troupe people, right? It was the actors, and Kirk set up the whole thing to have them on a ship so that he could figure out if he recognized this dude and if this dude was the real dude, and how he felt about it, how he had to keep his emotions in check while trying to conduct an investigation. It reminded me of that episode as well. But anyway, man, let me know what you guys thought of that episode. It's good to get back to my bootleg Star Trek talking about it, and I'm glad that Star Trek Strange New Worlds is doing this thing. You know, they started off kind of with a weak episode, and they going strong, and they flip it, a nice episodic theme again, where you could switch between so many theaters of drama or comedy like they did with the last episode. So anyway, let me know what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Ring the bell for any future Trek stuff or 60-second reviews. And as always, peace, recycle, and save the whales. You guys be cool.